Okay, hello and welcome. Before we begin, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. And I would also like to pay my respects and acknowledge traditional owners and elders right across Australia and the Torres Strait and all over the world as well. I'm so excited. We have our special guest presenters here, Christine and Brenda, to talk about the power of visibility. But before I introduce them, I just wanted to go through the dates. We've got quite a few events coming up, as well as the important dates for the awards nominations and those sort of things. So I'm going to share my slides. I've got one slide. I'm going to share one slide. Hmm. And just go through those dates with you. Okay, so we have two information sessions coming up this week. So tomorrow we have an information session for our business expansion tour, and that's our 9-day tour. We're going to London, Paris, Rome, and Florence. So if you are interested in being part of that longer tour, the business expansion tour to London, Paris, and Italy, get in touch with me because that event is happening tomorrow. So if in the chat, if you just want to write tour, and I'll go through and find out the people who are interested and send you the link for that one. And then if you are interested in being part of our new anthology for 2026, we have our information session for that happening on Friday. So that is our new book. It is launching in Paris at the Women Changing the World Summit on the 22nd of April. And the title for our new book is Resilience and Reinvention. So I'm super excited about that as well. So if you're interested in finding out more about being an author and coming along to that information session, just write book in the chat and I'll come and give you the link for that. As well as that, we've got some more of our free Zoom series happening. So this is next week. We've got How to Leverage Awards presented by Laura and Emma. And then the following week is all about PR and how to get in the media. And that is presented by Candace Silver from Reconnect PR. So those are our events coming up, lots of things happening over the next few weeks. As well as that, I wanted just to remind you that nominations close on the 15th of February. So that is Sunday of next week. So if you've got amazing people who you would love to nominate, that you've been thinking about nominating them, please make sure you take action on that and nominate them, get their names in. You just need to go to wcwawards.com and you can nominate there. The nomination form is there. Your completed application, so all of the answers to your questions, need to be submitted by the 23rd of February, which is the following week. So you've got about 2 weeks to do that. After that date, the 23rd of February, all of the applications are being sent to the judges for judging. So please make sure you've got those applications in. And then finalists will be announced on the 6th of March. Then, of course, the awards presentations happen on the 22nd of April in Paris. If you're able to join us in Paris, that's happening there. If not, you can still tune in via the global live stream to all of the announcements and still be part of all of the celebrations and fun. Okay, I think that is all of my announcements. I've got a few more people to let into the Zoom room who've just joined us. I'm going to stop sharing now. And I'm going to hand over to our special guest presenters, Christine and Brenda. Now, they've got a presentation that they're going to share with you, and then we will have time for questions at the end. So as they're chatting, if an idea for a question comes to you, please jot it down on a piece of paper beside you, and then we'll go through questions at the end of the presentation. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce Christine and Brenda. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever anyone is joining us from. We are so excited to be joining you today, please.
So great to have you. All right, take it away.
Thank you, everybody. We are going to be talking today about the power of visibility. And in essence, the world can't celebrate what it can't see. So, over the next 30 or so minutes, Christine and I are going to be sharing a little bit about ourselves. We'll do a little bit of an intro as to who are we, who are me and Christine, who is Speak Worthy. And then we want to dive into some of the reasons why women don't want to be seen. What holds us back? What stops us from showing up? And how can we actually resolve that, right? So we'll give you some tools and tips to ensure that you are embracing visibility and using it to maximize and grow your business. Then we're going to talk about the payback of visibility. Chris and I are going to share a little bit about some of our wins after having been part of some awards, such as the Women Changing the World Awards and also Osmompreneur. Then we're going to talk about 3 Ps of visibility. So really thinking about how can you start to embrace what we call our visibility ecosystem to ensure that you can also see that momentum and growth in your personal profile, your personal brand, your professional brand, and to grow your business overall. And then lastly, we're going to open up for questions. So feel free, if you do have any questions, come along as we are talking, as we are raising some of these things, you can put them aside, and then we'll have a little bit of an opportunity at the end of the call to take all your questions. Now, also, I'd love to see in the chat where everyone is coming in from. Where are you dialing in from? Because I know now, Peace, is it 72 countries that the awards are now,
Yes, it is. We have nominees and women from 72 countries around the world. Super exciting. And I've seen some of you joining. I know that we've got people from the UK here and all over the place.
So exciting, so exciting. We love this. We love to have everybody coming and sharing where they're from. I am originally from Zimbabwe. And so I am so passionate about the mission. I'm so passionate about all of this. And I'm now based in Australia. And Chris, how about yourself?
Yes, so it is amazing that there is 72 countries of women who need to be seen. My origin is from Vietnam, so I'm a refugee to this country 50 years ago, and I'm now based in Australia in Sydney. It's been my home for pretty much all my life, and Brenda and I are so excited about just representing. So we're not just Australians, we are cross-cultural women as well.
Yes, I love how you put that. And in terms of our mission, we are really all about amplifying underrepresented voices. I'm a chemical engineer by background. I've been a woman in male-dominated spaces such as mining, manufacturing, and construction. And so being the only woman, being sometimes the only Black person on the site has really made me recognize the importance of amplifying all of our voices, of being seen, of being heard, and of being part of the solution in some of the industries that sometimes weren't actually built with us in mind. Right. So Chris and I really have come together on this mission to amplify underrepresented voices, whether that just be women, minorities, and get our stories out there, right? So that we can see the variety and see the representation that is out there on stages, in rooms, and wherever your businesses may operate and amplify. So we're excited to be here with you. And let's talk about visibility. Like there's a pretty little picture of me and Chris over there in the corner. We have been a part of the Women Changing the World and Osmom World for quite some time, and we love, love, love it. And we love it because we want to be seen, right? And it does beg the question, why don't women want to be seen? What stops us from maybe putting our hands up, from maybe being seen and being shared and amplified? I'd love you to type in the chat, what are some of the reasons that perhaps you don't want to be seen? What stops you from being maybe visible or showing up on social media or writing articles or being a part of an awards process if this may be your first time considering it, right? I'd love to see some of that in the chat as to some of the reasons that's stopping. I'm seeing a lot of meeting note takers. I'll just scroll on down and see who we've got. Oh, so we've got lots of people calling in from New York City, Gomeroi country in Tampa. Ooh, Seattle, welcome, welcome. Melbourne, now originally from South Africa. Beautiful. Lovely to see you both from Melbourne, Australia. Excellent, excellent. And Maureen from New York. We love you, Maureen. Good to see you. She's from our community. Now, Melanie says, feeling like I don't know enough yet to be
Yeah.
credible. Yes, this is a big one. It's like, do I know enough? Have I done enough? Have I achieved enough to be on this platform of other women who seem to have done a lot, right? The negativity I've received from tall poppy syndrome. So this is a common one here in Australia. Tall poppy syndrome is really about, just don't be too loud, don't be too showing off, don't, just be humble and keep your wins quiet, keep your wins to yourself. Don't brag, just be humble, right? So sometimes that can really keep us stuck and can stop us from showing up and sharing. Right, we've got Panama, Sunshine Coast, New Zealand. Welcome, 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 everybody. Lee says self-doubt sometimes. When things are going well, I feel confident. I apply for the awards. Sometimes when the business is rocky, I feel up and down and I feel more doubt that am I really good enough to apply? Thank you for sharing that, Lee. And I think a lot of us resonate with having sensed that throughout our businesses as well. Validity of my perspective and experience. Good, yes. The balance between service and humility. Oh, I love this. And these are such real examples that all of us have navigated, right? I feel bad that I can't attend the wards. We have a 3-year-old and live in regional New South Wales, so it makes it pretty hard. Oh, yes, I feel you, Lorraine. So all of these things, right? I can see us, the fear of judgment, right? So tall poppy syndrome, maybe our family's like, who are you to be on there? You're just plain old Brenda that we've known all our years, right? And they sometimes can, be part of the problem. Sometimes if they're too close to us, will they judge me? Will they think I'm, too big for my boots? Maybe second guessing, have I done enough? Right? And that imposter syndrome, that feeling of, am I an imposter? Am I a bit of a fraud? Have I really done enough? Is this worthy of being recognized, right? And I want to talk about how easy it is for us to stay small because we stay in our little corner. We're not up for people to maybe give us any negativity or to troll us on social media. It is easier to stay small. And it's easy to stay in our comfort zone. But the world can't celebrate what it can't see, right? And so that's why we want to talk about the importance of actually seeing this, understanding and acknowledging these issues, this second guessing, this having to justify getting to the next level more than our peers, and putting it in the passenger seat. I always like to talk about a car and being in the driver's seat of that car. So choosing, regardless of the fears and the doubt and the questions in our minds, to still get into the driver's seat and head to where we're going, right? And I want to talk about what that payback looks like, right? What is the payback when we actually choose to be visible? Chris, you want to touch on these wins? Like, why should people be visible? Why should they amplify their voices, amplify their business, amplify their impact?
Absolutely. So following on what Brenda was saying, which is, look, if the world can't see you, how do they even know to celebrate you? How do they even know how to celebrate you? So what is the return on your investment? Okay, what is the ROI of you being visible to the world so that fear of judgment is put aside, the second guessing is put aside, the imposter syndrome is put aside. So the payback or the ROI of being visible to the world is you are the living proof. You are the living proof of your experience. This is what we do as women. Oh, that's not me. Oh, I didn't. Oh, it's nothing. That's sort of what I should be doing anyway. This lived experience needs to be put out there because you are the proof that it can be done. You are the proof that it is done. Okay, so that is an ROI of being visible. What about the credibility? I was looking at the chat and there was a lot about, do I know enough? How do I compare with others? Well, you know what, as they say, your lane is your lane. You are the subject matter expert of your lane. And that credibility needs to shine through because when we don't call it out, we forget that everything we know lands. Everything we know is credible. And of course, what else happens when you're putting yourself out there and the proof is there? you gather momentum. And we're going to show you what that momentum looks like, even for us, especially in this world where Peace and Katie have provided such a fantastic platform. You have momentum, because if you're not out there, how do you know that somebody else is feeling the same as you? What if somebody else is also feeling the imposter? But the minute you are showing them, hey, this can be done, there will be one lady over there, another person over there, another person over there. And that's the momentum that you are creating. You are creating the space for other women like us to say, wow, she's like me, and it's okay. So that momentum will just continue. And of course, when you are showing that there is proof, there's credibility and momentum, what are you creating for others? What's the narrative to other people? It's actually saying, you know, I can influence with impact. Okay, I can influence with impact. A lot of people walk around and they will say, you know, oh, what do I know? I don't know enough. But you know what? Your impact is called for. Your impact is needed. So that ROI to other women who are very likely thinking the same thing, you are the proof to show them. And of course, all of this will ensure that the platform you are on, especially something like what Peace and Katie have provided for us, will only amplify your confidence. Okay. And remember, if you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others. Okay. So this is, I think the generosity of women is second to none, you know. And so whilst we might at times lack the confidence, I love to reframe the idea that, hey, I am giving confidence to another sister. I'm giving confidence to another woman. So put it in that perspective and you will see, you will reap the rewards. You know, you will have the return on your investment of visibility. So Brenda, back to you.
You're so right, Chris. Like, women are very quick to amplify others. We're very quick to celebrate others, and maybe even in our businesses to thank our coaches, to thank our mentors, to thank all the others who are doing great things. But really, thanking ourselves and celebrating ourselves is an important part of that process as well. And that's how we build our confidence. That's how we start to show up more visibly, more readily, and more, you know, authentically to us. So I just wanted to share our next slide really around what has been part of the Ozmompreneur, the Women Changing the World's platform. What has this opened up doors for us? And you'll see a number of happy snaps here with Chris and I at Ozmompreneur. Chris was part of the Dreams and Determination book last year, which is such a fantastic co-authored anthology. And Peace, as she mentioned right at the beginning of this is an opportunity for you to put your hand up for the next one, to really be visible, to really get your name out there, get your story out there, and inspire others, right? Especially others that look like you, maybe have come from backgrounds similar to yours. They were in similar careers and they pivoted similar to you. These stories have got a ripple effect that we never really truly know. Like, you know, the moment, like we are right now, maybe planting a seed, helping you to think, okay, it's possible for me. And you're going to go on to do fantastic, great things, right? So that's part of this process of being visible. And of course, I want to hand over to you to talk about your journey with, you know, getting visible. Where did you start and what's shifted for yourself? What's been your ROI as you have become visible?
Yes, thanks, Brenda. You know, I have a career that spans 30 years. So 10 years in corporate, 20 years in small business and education. And you know what? I said to Brenda the other day, it's only been these couple of years where I felt I had the courage. But if I look back and I had to redo that, I would have started way back when. Because what has happened is other women have missed out on knowing about my journey, my uphill battles, my challenges, my wins, and my sometimes losses. And sometimes you think, if I had shared that earlier, how many people would have benefited? So over the years, I think to myself, wow, my journey from corporate, I could have shown a lot of people what that journey means. You know, those who are either early career, people in corporate or late career looking to pivot. Okay, so a platform like what Peace and Katie are providing, guess what? When I am in their anthology or when I'm writing my posts on social media, those are suddenly my spaces to share with my fellow sisterhood and say, hey, are you an early career person? Hey, are you looking to pivot? And so I'm actually using all of this proof and this credibility that I've had in the past, to share that story. So that is my ROI, and that amplifies itself through the sisterhood. Now, of course, I pivoted 2 careers, first 10 years in corporate and then in business, and then now doing something like Speakworthy. It's just amazing because what has happened is over time, I can see my impact. I can see my influence. And that momentum, as we mentioned before, that confidence has only built on more and more and more. And that's why we're here today. We're saying, hey, if you are afraid of visibility, one small step, that ripple effect can go on for ages, so for forever. So that's been my journey. And I think I believe my learnings from there is start now. Start now.
Love that, Chris. It is so crucial to start somewhere and to always feel like, oh, I should have. But right now is a better time than any other time. And Chris has been featured now since winning these awards. She's written her book. She's done a book launch. She's been featured on the Women on the Leader Speaks. This is her on the panel last year at the Women Changing the World Awards here in Melbourne and Geelong. And also on stages there. So this is what is possible for you if you choose your little pocket of the world. What has been your journey? What have been your wins? What have been your setbacks? How did you work through them, right? Similarly, I shared a little bit at the beginning. I am a chemical engineer, originally from Zimbabwe, moved when I was 18 to work with L'Oreal. My dream was. I wanted to be a chemical engineer so I could make lipsticks and help women to look and feel beautiful. I actually ended up in mining and manufacturing instead. Hard hat, steel cap boots, high vis, very, very different world. And as I mentioned, I struggled sometimes to look around and see people like me. I went to a lot of these career conferences. I wanted to become a woman in leadership. And each time I went to these conferences, I didn't see any women who looked like me on the stages. I didn't see anyone who was on a panel, who was speaking, who looked like me. I was like, where are all the Black women? Why can't I see them? And a still small voice said to me, Brenda, where are you? Right? Where are you? And at the time, this is about 10 years ago, I was like, what do you mean, where am I? I don't know anything. I'm just little on me, Who am I to be someone? Who am I to be on stages, right? But little by little, taking small steps, starting to be visible, starting to put myself forward, starting to amplify my small voice. It's opened up doors now, right? And you can see on here, there's a few collages there of me speaking in front of boardrooms now, sharing about how does imposter syndrome show up for you as a woman in a male-dominated space, right? Talking about STEM career development and leadership now. I'm now that voice, that person I wanted to see, representing it for others. And people come up to me afterwards and say, wow, I've never seen a person, such a diverse panel. Or wow, it really gave me a permission slip to see you on that stage. Wow, thank you. Now that I can see you do it, I want to do it too. Right? So I just want you to type a yes in the chat if you now can see why being visible is key, why visibility is so powerful, not just for yourself, but because of those who see, hear, and can use the messages that you share to amplify their own journey, right? To see what's possible for themselves, to get in the driver's seat and say, oh my gosh, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too, right? And the people that are waiting just for your specific story are plenty, right? We never know. We never know how many nooks and crannies we can reach, but start now, start today, and start sharing. Perfect. Okay, we're going to quickly go. I can see our time is really cruising. I want to share with you the 3 Ps for visibility, right? How can you have an ecosystem that keeps you visible, keeps you showing up? And we share these in our Speakworthy programs with our speakers. We help speakers to be on stage, to position themselves, to package themselves, and to pitch themselves effectively. And these 3 Ps are also crucial for you in your visibility journey. So let's dive into all of these 3 Ps. That's positioning, packaging, and pitching, okay? So if you're taking notes, you can grab that first one. So in terms of positioning, what does that look like? What do we need to be thinking about? Well, think about these sort of things as you start to show up as your business. And these things can also be relevant as you're filling out your nominations, right? So you'll see the 9 questions in the award process are asking you to talk about you and your business. What have you done? How have you helped people? What makes you different, right? So I really want you to think about owning the specific problem that you solve. All of us are unique. All of us have seen life through specific lenses, and that means that the way we solve problems is different. So really quantifying that, calling it out. Hey, this is the problem I solve. I help women in male-dominated spaces to step up, speak up, stand out, right? That's my little problem that I solve. What is yours, right? And talking about the outcomes and the impact that this has got. Right? What has happened since you have started to help people in this space, right? Maybe thinking about what changes when people come into your world. What's the before and the after? What happens when you are in business, right? And then lastly, what is the piece of the puzzle? Embracing your difference. Sometimes, especially women from multiple regions, multiple countries, we wonder if our accent is too different, if, our beginnings are too humble and small. Maybe we were raised in country towns or regional towns, or we weren't in the big cities and our parents didn't have big jobs or what the world says is big. So we question that. I always challenge people to embrace their differences, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you you, right? So make that part of your positioning, make that part of who you are, and make it part of how you stand out. The next P is around packaging, right? Think about how you can make your expertise easy to trust. So sharing those success stories, how has your business helped? How many people has it transformed? How many years have you been in business? Who has won? What does that look? What does winning look like in your world, right? Is it the product center? I remember last year there was a beautiful lady who spoke about her business, the beauty. She had started a manufacturing company and was doing products, beauty products. And now these were all over the world. Like she just started in her own, lounge room, garage, creating these products. And all of a sudden it's global, right? You just don't think about that when you're starting small, when you're just wanting to solve a little problem for yourself. And then it multiplies, right? So think about that, talking about that. And then the last piece is around awards. Who can really be amplified? Who can maybe even be curious about, oh, who is this person who's got this award? Who is this, right? People want to know you. And when you're in a group of, I think last year was 751 nominations piece. Is that the right numbers? I'm unsure now how many people were nominated. What was the data there?
Yeah, we sometimes get over 2,000 nominees. Pretty incredible.
Yes, so that is just wild. And then to become a finalist from those nominees and then to be a winner, that is not a small journey, right? So telling that story, showing the golden thread, showing how you've come from where you were, your humble beginnings, who you've helped, how you've helped them, and where you are today is such a big, big part of this process, right? So think about that piece as well. And lastly, pitching. Now, this is the important bit. This is the talking about your business. This is the piece people may think, oh, I'm happy to write about myself, and I may be happy to just, to be in the invisible coach or the invisible leader. But it's so powerful when you get on social media. Share reels, share your talks, share about your business, share about your impact, right? Peace and Katie have got many opportunities to be speaking on stage as part of these awards, because stages amplify your success. They maximize who sees you, who hears about you, and who knows about your products as well, right? So thinking about how can I open doors to partnerships, to collaborations, to things that make sense when they're packaged together, right? Talking about that helps people to, wow, feel your vibe, feel your essence, feel your energy. And also when you reference your nomination, people start to like, wow, this is good. Wow, women changing the world. Like even just the names are really, really already a front positioner for you to differentiate who you are, give you that credibility, give you that proof and influence that Chris spoke about before as well, right? So tell me which one of the three P's you feel that you may need to maybe work on. Which one do you want to work on a little bit more, or which one do you think positioning underway, packaging probably needs a little bit of help, or oh my gosh, pitching, I think you're calling me out, Brenda. You're snatching my edges. You you somehow know what I'm not doing behind the scenes, right? So which one do you think you probably need to amp up the volume on a little bit to ensure you become more visible so you can really embrace that power of visibility? I'd love to see in the chat, what do we have in here? Michelle says, love this. I've found that as I share, people are inspired and it gives them hope. People come up to me, even though they may not comment on my posts, they see me and they tell me how much it helps them. Oh, yes, Michelle, there's so many silent, I don't want to call them stalkers, but silent watchers on our social media that are looking and seeing and are just like, wow, I remember when this person was just starting and now look what's happened to them. They're just like quietly being inspired, quietly being motivated and given that permission slip simply by seeing you show up. I love that it keeps you going. As a shy person with zero confidence and little self-esteem, I've taken small steps and your confidence has grown. Yes, sometimes we believe that confidence is something we're born with, but it's actually something that we build little by little, small step by small step, small post by small post. And nominating yourself, or if you've been nominated, following through and actually filling out the nominee application, right? Filling out that process, saying, I am enough, I belong, I deserve to be here, and following through on that process. Okay, we can see Dr. Marine says pitching for sure. Dre says pitching. At the end, may also see the other P slides again. Very pretty. Yes, you can see them again. Pitching, collaborating, and getting onto stages to open doors to my influence is my next step. Thank you for this. Yes, we love, love, love this. We love to help people to amplify, and getting their messages in the right rooms, on the right stages is for sure a very big momentum builder. Ellie says, pitching for me too. Thank you. You're very welcome. Katya, pitching. I've been comfortable as a quiet leader. I hear from women a lot now that they are putting themselves out there to do things because if I can, they can. Yes, yes, yes. And this is that permission slip that we are talking about. When people see you do it, they're like, oh, she's so courageous. She's so bold, right? And even if you're not feeling bold yet, people see you as that bold person. Right? So we want you to do these three P's. We want you to take action and to start moving forward. The final one really is about the power of visibility, right? We've covered this already, and I'm sure if you've got some questions, please start to line them up. These awards are a credibility shortcut, right? We've got an opportunity on a silver platter for you right now to fill out your nomination, to fill out your application, to start being seen, right? You could be a finalist. This could be real in just 2 weeks, right? So you could be in Paris and accepting an award. This is a very big reality, right? But you must take that next step to fill out the form. Get that credibility shortcut. Get on a stage, see if there's an opportunity for you to create that status, to create that buzz, to get the photos of you for social media, to show the proof that, hey, my business is moving and shaking. My business is impacting communities. People are shifting as a result of my passion and my gifts that I've been blessed with. And Chris and I see a lot of event organizers also really want speakers with proof of leadership and impact. Like think about your own self. Maybe some events that you go to, maybe some podcasts you listen to. When you hear these people being introduced, don't you just have a bit of a wow sensation? Right? This sensation can be about you too, right? You will be that leader. You will be that person people are seeking out. But you must show up first. Right. And the last two there, Chris, anything you want to add on those?
Yes, look, you're doing a great job with reminding everybody that the power of visibility is real. And I think with the chats, all the comments in the chat, it is about taking those small steps, and having those small actions, because I just want to remind everybody what Brenda was saying before. The world cannot celebrate what they can't see. So even if it's a very micro step, it is a step all the same. And as Brenda was mentioning before, yes, we see a lot of organizers who want to know what you have done. So you have to spend the time to call it out. And here, media wants stories with credibility markers. So coming back to the credibility bit, one of the exercises I do is actually give myself a silent 10 minutes and just write down everything that I have done. And it could be everything I've done in the last week. And you'll be so surprised. You'll be so surprised. Wow, is this what I'm capable of? Right. And these are your credibility markers so that you don't lose that. And then you do it again for the last fortnight and then the last month, and you will be surprised how much you have achieved. And, the last point is about clients want partners with recognized authority. Okay. So this is your chance. And I can't reinforce enough that Peace and Katie are like, this is a platform. They're there. They're serving this on a silver platter for you. So take up the opportunity. Don't think, I've nominated myself once or I've nominated somebody else and there's been no traction. Trust me, you want to know how many times I've nominated myself and I've nominated other people. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. But every bit will count because you're one step closer. You're one step closer. And when your name is called out on stage, I remember winning gold one year and I was like, oh my gosh, because it reminds us that the world is watching. And then when they see you, that's when all the gems will drop.
So good. It's so good. And we love, love, love seeing how much people boost their confidence as being part of this platform, being in the room with other women who have moved and shaped. We can really remark on the community that we got as being a part of these awards, right? We have got so many women now in our field, in our spheres, who run amazing businesses, who are just down the road, who are also going through the ups and downs of business.
Yeah.
What a better community to have as a result of us simply being involved in this process, right? So I'm conscious now there's a little bit of time left for us, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We'd love for you to connect with us, right? We've come to the end of our sort of content for the day, but if you know that this has sparked a fire under you, if you know that speaking is something you want to focus on and amplify in 2026, we'd love you to touch base with Chris and I. Jump onto our website, speakworthy.com.au/contact will let you find a little bit of a spot to book a call. But we just want to see you win. We want to see you share your wins, share your voice, share your impact, and have that amplified, because I think when you win, the world wins and all of us win as a result, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to open up the room now. Peace, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Brenda and Christine. This has been such a great presentation, and I think a great reminder for me as well of the stories that I've seen, because we've been running awards for a number of years now. And, we've seen women in the early stages of becoming visible and watching them go on that journey, their confidence growing, their speaking ability growing, and then the doors to opportunities growing as well, has been pretty phenomenal. So, yeah, and I think Michelle's right. It just starts with those small steps. But you've given so many great tips on how to do that, how to position yourself, the pitching, and then how to leverage that, because I think that's really important as well. So if you have a question, I would love you to either just unmute and jump in or use the raise hand tool. And we'd love to open the floor to questions. Or if you'd just like to jump in and say hi, we'd love to see you as well. It's not like you guys to be shy.
I'll say hello.
Here we go. Thank you, Christine. Hi.
Hi, Christine. Hi, Brenda. Please, when do the awards have to be, the applications fully written, have to be in by?
So our date for applications need to be in is the 23rd of February.
Okay, and is there a limit as to how many awards that you can actually enter? Because I like to go hard or go home.
Yes, well, you're welcome to enter as many categories as are relevant for you and the work that you do. So,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. Thanks, Justine. Tanya Hicks, hello.
Hello, so great to see everyone and
to
your
see
beautiful
you.
smiling faces. Ladies, that was great. Thank you. I was the person who shared about the tall poppy syndrome. Now, you ladies are I believe you identified as Australian as well. How do you counter that? Is it just getting around more people like we have in this room, or do you have other strategies as well, please?
Great question.
I love that
Love
question.
it. Chris, you want to go first, or I can lead, whichever?
I'll share a story, and I'll share a story to Tanya. So when I was in my corporate space, I was one of two Asian ladies, and they always got us mixed up. Okay. At the end of the day, I have to go about my business with I have impact and I'm influential. So that carries me everywhere I go. As far as strategy is concerned, it is an inner confidence that we really don't care and we shouldn't be bothered by how people see us and how they judge us. Because as long as we understand that this is our lane, this is our area of expertise, and we channel into that and anchor into that and really dig our heels into that, then that confidence will grow. So as far as strategy for me is concerned, it's water off a duck's back. It didn't happen overnight, of course. That imposter is always lurking around. But this is the reason why communities like this is so important. When you have the wobblies and you're like, not good enough, or this person, you pick up the phone and you call a girlfriend. That's what it is.
Thanks, Christine. So yours is really about a lot of mindset stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Brenda,
I think I agree there. I'm also similar, having people that know and are doing the things I want to do. I think I mentioned a little bit before, your family and your friends, the community they're not on the same sort of pathway and highway as we are. So they often may not be our biggest champions, and they just want to protect us. They don't want us to maybe fail. They don't want to see us lose out. So they've got great intentions, but they show up in terms of restricting us and maybe keeping us small. So I like to be in business communities where people are showing up. People are, doing the thing. They're being loud and proud about their businesses, about their wins, and I can see that they're winning as a result. So having that evidence and being in spaces where others are doing what you're doing or wanting to do and wanting to grow in really, really helps. The second thing is also, I loved what Justine said, they are not paying my bills. There was a quote that I heard recently about the number of percentages. So I think 33% of people will love what you do. 33% of people will be neither here nor there. And then 33% of people may hate it, right? So I'm just like, well, there's 66% of people who will be like, either like, my life hasn't changed, or wow, thank you so much, and we'll go and do something different. So I'm like focusing on those 33% of people who will love what I do, who need what I do, and just going ahead with them in mind, not the lack of, or the people who are going to hate it. I don't have them in front of my mind, because the people who love it will pay the bills. The people who love it will be on their stages. The people who love it will ask me to support them from some way. So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Brenda. Absolutely helps. And I do believe it's been in this community for a little bit now, just over a year or so, that has been it's been like a defining pivot point for me with this as well. So I was just curious if it was for you as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
The reminder. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks, Tanya. Michelle Harris has her hand up for a question. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, hello everyone. Nice to see you all. thank you so much for sharing what you've done. I've been in and out of the calls. I'm getting ready for a client in a minute, so I have to listen to it again. But I just wanted to come in and say I've been part of this platform for a few years, and I absolutely love it. Peace, Katie, you're amazing. You know how much I love you and what you've done to help women rise. And for myself, as a naturally kind of shy, sensitive person, having something like this to help elevate me has been so impactful. And it really is about reinforcing your unique voice and remembering that there's no one else like you. You have your own specialness to share in the world. And it's really about just saying, yes, I can do this. And it's your time. It's your time to shine, your time to say yes, your time to take the steps forward. And yeah, I think that's really it. And also trust. I think there's also elements of trust here. Trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting that you are worthy. You are worthy and you can do this. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. And I want to say also best of luck to everyone who's been nominated, and to nominate yourself, because again, you are worthy to do so. So just wanted to say that. So thank you. And I have to go off now because of my client, but lots of love to everyone, and thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michelle. So good to see you. So beautiful.
Bye.
Thank you. Ellie has a question. Hi, Ellie. I saw you waving before.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies. I mean, it's just so good to be here. And I'm in New Zealand, so I think we might have tall poppy syndrome worse than you guys do over there. But I just remember when I was in the corporate world also, and I remember talking to my lawyer once and just saying, oh, why do I have to do all this? And, I have to do... And he leaned across the desk and he said, because you can and they can't. And I think that's really something for all of us to remember. As we're going through this. So thank you. And for those of you who are going to be in Paris, I really look forward to giving you a big hug.
So amazing. And yeah, so true. So true. We often can't see the gifts that we have, but other people can, and not everyone can do the things that we do. And we need to recognize that and celebrate it and own it. It's really powerful, really powerful. Thank you, Ellie. Melanie, hi. Did you have a question?
Oh, thank you. First to Peace and Katie, and also to Brenda and Christine. This was just wonderful. This is my first introduction to Women Changing the World. I'm very recently introduced. So
wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. And the question I have, this was a wonderful presentation, really timely for me. I'm a financial coach, and I work specifically with, I work primarily with women and women who are in a career change place. I work with a lot of women in STEM, and I am just, I've just kind of, I did a looking through of my list of clients of like, who's having the biggest wins with me, and like looking at what's the demographic. And so I've just started brainstorming ideas of like, how do I contact that particular group of people more easily. And so just yesterday I was brainstorming of a person I could reach out to who works with getting young girls into STEM. My daughter did a program with her, and I thought, oh, I could speak to her and say, hey, here's who's really having success with me. What ideas do you have for how I might be contacting more of these people to elevate their experience with finances? And just wondering from you, Christine and Brenda, what some of the first steps were that you took as you were looking toward making presentations for the first time, in a field like that. That will be a new thing for me, to be potentially making presentations to some of the people in the groups that she's connected with. So that's my question.
Brenda, it's STEM. This is you.
I love it, Melanie. Yeah, my eyes always light up when I hear anything about STEM, engineers, young girls being encouraged to go into the industry. So I'm very proud of your niche. I'm very proud of the work you're doing, and just want to reinforce that it's very highly valuable. And I love that if you can get even more visible, that will really have a ripple effect in terms of impact. Now, how do you reach out to the right people? I think we always underestimate the people that we already know. So I always love starting with our direct network and just looking in your phone. Like, some of us have had our phones for 10 years, right? And there's multiple contacts in there. And so simply reaching out and saying, hey, I am now, really expanding. 2026 is really about growing my financial coaching business. Who do you know who could benefit from, from my services? Who do you know that could really win? Or I'm looking specifically in the STEM space. Do you have any contacts you can make an introduction for, right? So it's really about having those conversations first and foremost, and seeing what people need and are looking for, and then showcasing those three things we spoke about: the position, who are you, what makes you different, the packaging, what will they benefit, and what's the impact your clients have had. And that should be simple with all the success story audits you've just done. And then seeing, hey, would you love me to come and, do a bit of a presentation for you? Would you love me to share this with your team? Would you love me to drop this with your customers or your clients, right? And
Yes.
it's really that muscle. It's a similar muscle like the confidence we spoke about, like being seen and starting to speak are kind of almost, in parallels. It's how do I get that muscle of having these conversations? How do I have that muscle of doing these presentations and not feeling those nerves and not feeling that sense of, am I good enough yet to be speaking about this and to be sharing it? But the answer is yes, you are good enough, and yes, you got it. And start with your current network. Start there. Start with people who know you, who love you, who can happily do an introduction, and then grow from there.
That's so helpful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I just wanted to add one thing just to reinforce the idea of your positioning to others. Some people forget that they have to tell people who they are and who they serve and what problem they solve. So make that really crystal clear on whichever social platform works for you. So if that sounds like a LinkedIn thing, go there and declare it and say, this is what I do. Each time you reach out to a contact, this is who I am right now, and this is the problem I solve. Don't wait for people to second guess. Oh, is this what you do? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Being explicit is always a win.
Thank you. This is really helpful clarification.
Best of luck.
Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful question, Melanie. Thank you. And great advice, Brenda and Christine. So good. Okay. Do we have any more questions, or anyone else want to jump in and say hi before we wrap up? Just unmute and jump in if you would like to say hello. Last call, anyone? All right, well, we might wrap up now, but I did want to remind you, we've got our business expansion tour call on this week, an information session. So if you're interested in finding out about the tour, please get in touch with me. We also have our anthology information session happening on Friday. So please get in touch with me if you're interested in being part of our new book. As well as that, next week, we've got another one of our webinar series happening with Laura and Emma, who will be talking about how to leverage awards and leverage your nomination and being a finalist. And then if you're a winner as well, leveraging that. And then the following week, we have a fabulous webinar all about PR and how to get into the media on TV, in the newspapers, on radio, on podcasts, all of the things with Candace. So that's coming up as well. Oh, we've got one more question. Hi, Tanya.
Hey, lovely. I've clearly written down the times for both of those meetings that you just mentioned incorrectly. I know they might be in your timing zone, but what time are both of those calls on Friday? Do you have access to
We've
that
got
at
one
all?
on Thursday at it's
Thursday?
9 a.m. Queensland time about the business expansion tour.
Yep.
And the anthology information session is on Friday.
Did you change that time?
9 a.m.
Friday.
Queensland time.
Heath?
It's 9 a.m. Queensland time. It's 10 a.m.
We
But
got
it's the-
calendar invites from you, and it's tonight.
So that's the co-writing session. I have a lot going on. So
Okay.
if you're already doing the tour and you're already doing the anthology, you don't really need to come to the information session for those two. But for people who are interested in being part of those, they can come along. We also, we do have our co-writing session for those of you who are joining us as authors for Resilience and Reinvention. That's happening 4 p.m. Queensland, 5 p.m. Victoria.
Legend.
Oh, such an exciting week. So many events happening, so many good things. But thank you so much, Brenda and Christine. We have loved having you here and sharing all of your wisdom and tips and advice with us. It's been so good. And thank you to everyone who joined live. It's so good to see you. We've had people from all over the world here. Super exciting. And thank you to everybody who's catching up on the recording too. We are so excited to be celebrating the Women Changing the World Awards for 2026. Okay, I've got a question here from Melanie and Nancy. Melanie wants to know, what is the business expansion tour about? So we are doing a 9-day business expansion tour. We're going to London, Paris, Rome, and Florence. There's going to be speaking opportunities. There's going to be fabulous events for networking. We're meeting with government representatives for people who are looking at expanding into new markets. There's all sorts of things happening. So Melanie, if you are interested, I'm going to send you an email with the info anyhow. And if you want to come along to that info session, I highly recommend it because it's going to be an incredible, incredible trip. And Nancy's asking, how do I get on the email list for the upcoming webinars? Since you've got the calendar invite for this one, then yeah, we'll put you on the list for the upcoming ones as well. All right. Thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. Thanks again, Brenda and Christine, and we will see you all again soon. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye, everyone.